It is Tuesday, and today is a good day. Not only did I have half a day off to take my kid to the orthodontist, but it's Thanksgiving here in a couple of days, and I have the next 5 days off. On top of that, I was sent home today with a chainsaw that has not ran for a long time. They didn't know exactly how long, but the gentleman that sent me home with it said that it was his dad's, and he's never used it after his dad passed. And I found some pine needles up underneath it. So my assumption would be is the last time it was used was to cut down a Christmas tree. I was going to fire it up, throw some gas in it, but I noticed the chain is actually not in the bar or on the sprocket, and the chain is backwards. So unless this model, which it's a Homelite Super 240 Classic, we'll flip it up here, Homelite Super 240 Classic, unless the sprocket spins counterclockwise, I don't think it would cut anyway, and with it being off of the sprocket, I didn't want to even try to give it life because I was afraid what might happen. So what we're going to do is start by taking off the chain cover, get the chain and bar off, maybe throw some gasoline in it and see if we can get anything. The tank, I did open up the tank. The tank is bone dry and really doesn't smell like anything. The oil is pretty full, pretty gnarly looking oil, so who knows what was even put in there, but we'll start tearing this down, probably do a lot of cleanup on it. I don't really get into, try to tear them too far down. If I can get them running, typically with old chainsaws, once you get them running, they'll clean up as long as you get spark, air, and fuel. But we'll start by getting this off and kind of go from there and see where we're at. Maybe put some gas in it and give her a couple cranks. So it does have really small nuts here. They were 7/16 is the size. So we'll, there we go, zip these guys off. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so it is actually barely on the sprocket, but that has not obviously been cleaned out anytime soon, and there's more kind of evergreen leaves, so some little bushes or something. So let's see here. There we go. Chain does not look to be in terrible shape. However, it has a stupid bar with the anti-plunge, the safety tip, but that chain doesn't look, I thought at first the chain was going to be all knotted up and everything, but it's not too bad, pretty dull. What I'm going to do, I got a little oil drain pan down here. Now throw that in there. I'll pour some gasoline on it later, let it soak. Bar looks to be probably junk, but I'll have to look up the specs on it to see what gauges is. It probably looks like an 043, I'd imagine, but it doesn't look very, very good shape, so I don't know if we'll find a new bar for it or not. Sprocket is actually really clean, so that's a good sign. Doesn't have big gouges in it. Spins pretty freely, so that's definitely a plus, but I have to see what, if there's any markings on there to say if it's a 3/8 pitch. It doesn't say, so I'll have to look that up to find that out. I did see that most of these Homelite Super 240 Classics were 1986, so it is just shy of 40 years old, and don't really know how long before then since it ran. We can pop this dude off and see the carburetor area here, see what it looks like down in there. All right. Oh yeah, she is a nasty mess down in there. It is all sorts of covered, so don't know what'll happen, but we can just do this. And it does call for 32-to-1. A lot of these Homelites are 32-to-1. I have an XL12 that I run 50-to-1 in. It calls for 30-to-1. It just gives it a little shade more gasoline to oil ratio, but I haven't I haven't seen that it's hurt anything, and I've been running the XL12 for quite a while. Even the old McCullough, I run 50-1, so I don't, maybe long term, but I mean, it's getting oil, and I don't ever really drain my oil can down before, or my gas can down before I refill it, so it's probably a little bit more oil than 50-1, that ratio there. So I did pull on the string, just kind of lift it up by it. It does have pretty good compression. So it's got a stop start or a stop run. So we'll pull that down to the run position, push the choke up. Seems to be moving at least. I'll pull this off camera real quick. Well, it sounded like it wanted to fire. I held the trigger down with the choke on, and it kind of sparked a little bit and showed maybe it might have some life to it. So maybe we'll give it just a few. Yep, that's definitely there, and that's down in the run position. Give it a few more pulls here and see what happens. It definitely sounds like it wants to fire. I didn't put a ton of gas in it, but yeah, it might be leaking a little bit. Yeah, definitely coming out the muffler. I got fuel coming out of the muffler, so definitely got fuel flowing through it, but it's not wanting to fire. So I think next step is just kind of start cleaning on it. I might take the pull start off, check that out, make sure that it's getting good contact, make sure the wires are all connected. But yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely just gushing fuel out of the muffler, which means it's flooded, but it's also not getting spark. So I'm going to pause you guys here for a second, clean this up a little bit, and we'll resume here in a second. All right, well, good news is, while I had you guys paused, I took the choke off, locked the trigger back, and sat on the floor and just ripped on it to try to unflood it and get that fuel move through. And, well, with any luck, it'll do it again here, so, there we go. So definitely struggling to idle a little bit, but I mean, that's pretty positive. Boy, that made a lot of smoke too, didn't it? So that's pretty positive. We're obviously getting fuel, getting spark, getting air. Like I said, it's pretty dang dirty. So typically what I like to start to do is I just grab my first piece, which would be the chain cover. I sit over the edge of the trash can over there and just start scraping. Get it all cleaned out as good as I can, wipe it out, get it cleaned up, pull the pull start off, pull the handle off, try to get this off too, because this looks like it's pretty, well, it's bolted there, but it's almost one piece. I can take all this off and kind of get myself down and start cleaning all these things up. That'll allow me to really spray the carburetor down, take the air filter off, look at it. But you know, just like with a lot of these old stalls like this, I mean, you can tear them all the way down, but typically if you can get them started and get them cutting, get them out, run a couple tanks of fuel through it, and if they're not too far gone, lines are still good, you can really heat them up and clean the carbs up as you go. I haven't, let's see, there's my, well, it says high, oh, there they are, high-low. So yeah, there's my high-low adjustment, there's my idle adjustment. So once I get this off, I'll probably run the low in and count how many turns until it's seated, and then turn it back out and see exactly where it was at, because it had, a lot of it might be the carb, but when you squeeze the trigger a little bit, it kind of delayed. But then again, I didn't have a bar and chain on it, and that can make a difference too, as far as having that pressure, that tension on it. But I mean, heck, can't complain all these years, and it fired up. So probably gonna go ahead and just end this video here. I don't think you really want to watch me sit over my trash can and use a screwdriver and pick to get all the junk off, but I'm gonna just kind of break it down. May go ahead and just pause the video for a little while, do that, and then kind of come back and let you know where we're at. All right, so here is where we're at. Got the bar cover in soaking in the wife's kitchen sink, because she always enjoys it when I do that. Got the pull start off. It is equally as nasty as everything else, but it's really just a bunch of junk in there. One thing I gotta figure out is on the side of the tank here, so these two little orange deals are just like little rubber grommets, but you pull them out and it gives you access into the side of the tank. And when I took the pull start off, there was fuel on the outside, so I'm not sure that those are actually sealing up the, no, it might be the vents. That might be a vent too, but it'd be a weird place for a vent. But it does come out. So I need to figure out if they're bad, if they can even be bought anymore. And the whole anti-vibration is really wonky. So I'm gonna have to, I think it's back here. It's just a bolt running through on this side, and there's nothing on this side. And it really gives it a lot of play. It gets a little firmer when the handle is on there, but it's still got a lot of play back there. So might have to pull that out, see if I got another bolt and something I can put on there to kind of pinch that in and make it rely more on the rubber versus, because it's not really shooting all the way through. But gonna keep cleaning on it. It's pretty awesome that it actually fired up, but it's got a lot of cleanup to do. Never really torn one of these apart. I built an 028 that wasn't running, and I've taken apart a XL12 and a ProMax 700 and some various saws, but I've never dove into one of these. So it's got a lot going on up in here that I'm gonna have to kind of Ray Charles my way through here and look and feel and see how it goes. So, but appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. And until next time.